Welcome to What's Your Side. I have another amazing guest. Every show gets better and better and better. I have one of my bestest friends with me today. Also, my life coach. He may not want to be, but I forced him in that role. His name is Jonathan L. Harris, CEO of Jonathan. I mean, the thing is, so funny. What's the umbrella company? Because you have like so many groups and so many like subsidiaries and stuff that you do. What's like the umbrella?
Well, first off, I don't know her.
Wow.
so just saying. But seriously, as far as like the different, it's just me. It's me. Okay. So Jonathan L. Harris, LLC.
LLC. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
I'm the brand.
Yes. So
I don't need a job. I am the job.
You are the job.
Is that what she said?
Yeah, I don't need a job.
Okay.
Who was it that said it?
I don't know.
Okay, great. So today's topic, I feel like, is one of those like forbidden conversations. Don't go there. This is good versus, people feel like this is like good versus evil. You'll see when we start talking. So I guess to set the stage and kind of establish the topic, I'm gonna talk to Jonathan more about who you are. Or let me say this. We're talking more, is it safe to say like spirituality?
Yeah.
Today's topic is on spirituality. So we're going to first off talking about spiritual gifts. And Jonathan has some spiritual gifts. So what are your spiritual gifts?
Being me. My superpower is me.
Your superpower is, you need shirts.
What?
You just need shirts with things on them because you always have like those taglines.
Oh yeah. Well, cool. That's
you guys will see.
Nugget, she dropped the gym. As far as like spiritual gifts, for me, I don't really call it spiritual gifts. It's more so an awareness. I have an awareness of something greater. So it's just an awareness of the supernatural realm. I guess if you was to call it that, or if we was to give it a real title. When it comes to what I do, my job is really just paying attention to my intuition, but also connecting to God, connecting beyond the physical to help individuals, find alignment, find peace, find joy in their life.
Right.
So that's one aspect, but most people would say, oh, you're a medium, you're a clairvoyant, you're a prophet. People like to put so many different titles on me. For me, I just like to say I'm a vessel. I'm a vessel for God, to help other people as far as like understand how they need to move or what they need to do in their life to experience transformation.
Now I have a question. I do want to talk about like how old you were when you like discovered this stuff, but let me start. Okay, how old were you when you discovered it? And then I'll ask my next question.
I was, let me see, how old was I? Let me stop. I was actually like 10. So when I was 10, well, that's when it started. Because I was a little cray-cray. Okay, just a little cray-cray. I come from a cray-cray family, so I'm a product of my environment.
They ain't hear that.
They need to. Okay. They need to. But I was actually 10. And okay, so let me say this. I always tell people most of the time when you have individuals that are gifted, that are connected, that do see things that other people don't understand, that are, that don't have the veil, you know what I'm saying? They're not limited to just this reality. A lot of times it's born out of trauma. Okay, so like for me when I was younger, it was like, my family was like different, and I was a loner. So my grandmother had like a lot of kids, right? But my mother was like the only one that only had one child. So, I was by myself a lot besides like, being with my grandmother and being around my cousins. So when I was younger, I used to always have like imaginary friends. I used to have people that I would talk to or whatever. I would dream, I would see lights. I remember times when like I was afraid to go to the bathroom because I would see spirits and see stuff. Wow. And I literally would pee in the bed because I was scared, but I didn't really understand it. I just knew something wasn't right. So, a lot of times you have kids and they're like, Mommy, I'm seeing something. They feel some type of way, or they're experiencing stuff that most of the time probably is real.
Wow, that's good to know.
Yeah, like it's crazy. But once my aunt passed away, my aunt Kathy, she had passed away probably around the time I was like 10. I was so depressed and I was going through a lot as far as just, being an adolescent. I was just going through a lot. And I remember just wanting to die. I remember not wanting to be like alive, like 'cause she was the one she was my escape. And I remember having guilt because I didn't get to, I was supposed to go see her, and I'm not gonna take you through the whole story, but I was supposed to go see her. I didn't go see her because I wanted to go swimming. And I always felt like, damn, if I was there, like she wouldn't have died because she died that night. And if somebody would have been there to call 911, she would have made it. Yeah, so she was by herself. So eventually, as time moved on, going through the grief and going through different things, she started to come back to me in dreams. So when she started to come back, she would tell me stuff. And I'd be like, nah, okay, whatever. But one time I had a dream that was like beyond anything. It was crazy. And mind you, let me say this too. I come from Charlotte, North Carolina, so I come from the Bible Belt. So they don't play with this type of stuff at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. I remember telling my mother, like, oh, my Aunt Kathy, she came to me and da-da-da-da. And my mother was like, you grieving. I remember telling my grandmother, and she was like, she probably did come visit you, but it's okay. Just, go pray.
So your grandmother understood?
Yeah. Okay. She got it, but they didn't like really want to like talk about it too much.
Right.
So different people did feel things that did, they've had experiences, but they didn't really talk about it, like that. So then when my aunt started coming back to me more, she would, over time, she started just to come back and she would tell me like, tell such and such they need to be careful because of whatever.
Wow.
Tell such and such is you need to get the family prepared because this person is going to die. And so I would start telling them that stuff and they'd be like, no. Then it started to happen.
Wow.
And then it kept happening. So then it got to the point that people was like, don't dream about me. Don't tell me nothing.
I know, yeah.
So it was hush, hush. But that's when I kind of like became aware of something. I still didn't really understand it. So I didn't get it. So it wasn't like I knew like, oh yes, you talking to the dead, you doing it. I didn't know that. I was around a lot of prophetic people in the church and stuff. So I definitely believed in gifts and abilities, but I didn't really understand the spirit world. I didn't understand just our relationship or that we could have a relationship with the spirit world. So when I went to high school, one of my teachers, I was like, I might have been 14. I was in high school, Lily Graham, that was her name. She had stopped the class, and this, I remember it honestly like it was yesterday, when she was doing an assignment, she stopped the class and she ran me through like a little short meditation. And she was like, what do you see? And it was like probably 20 other people in the class.
All this is your teacher?
This is my teacher.
Wow.
So all of the other kids and stuff, they looking like, what's going on? What's happening? And she's like, tell me what you see. So eventually, as I kept talking, Spirit had her mother and her sister that came through that were deceased and were, previously had just died or whatever. And she was just like, whoa, like, wow. So afterwards, she actually helped to point me in the right direction. So she was like, you are experiencing stuff, you actually have a gift. So later on after I graduated, I found out she was actually very intuitive into everything. But because she was my teacher, she couldn't really do much.
Oh, but she saw that in you.
But she saw it in me and she pointed me in the right direction. So when she kind of pointed me in that direction, I started researching everything. I was like, and I still really didn't, I don't know, like honestly believe. It was still kind of like, oh, maybe I'm just really smart. You know what I'm saying? But through my test scores, that didn't really prove that. But,
I mean, listen, them test scores stay wrong like these COVID tests. I said it. But anyway.
Lifeline.
Just the test period, they just be off. Yeah. But, okay, so as I'm learning more about it too, it just seemed like let me know if this is a misconception too, or if this is the truth. But it seemed like when you get into spirituality a little more, people feel that, oh, now I have to choose between this and religion. Is that true? Or what? No, talk to us about that.
Spirituality is really, a lot of times people confuse spirituality and New Age, okay? New Age is more like just the belief in stuff that's not always evidential. New Age is more so philosophy of, I'm free and I can do whatever I want, all of these different guys. It's like that type of thing. When you talk about spirituality and religion should work hand in hand, okay? Because spirituality is your connection to God, your connection to spirit, understanding that you are a spirit. Like you have a connection, you have a voice, you have something on the inside of you that is waiting to be expressed in the world. But religion, which I would more so call it tradition, a lot of people get so stuck in tradition. I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, but you're stuck in the rituals of the dogma, but your religion is technically your personal expression of how you understand God. Okay, so that's more so related to how you're choosing. It's like what you choose to wear. Okay, a lot of times people are part of religions that they were taught, and they were taught to not be able to open their mind and expand to something new or different. But spirituality is more so learning how to go within, but trusting the flow of your life.
So what do you do? Because through our conversations, I know you'll talk about sometimes you'll post and then like quote unquote religious people will just start kind of attacking you. Yeah. How do you handle that? Do you just ignore it, or do you try to help them understand, or?
So the professional way is, I just blink.
Okay, right.
I mean, honestly, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So I'm not, in this business. I don't do what I do to convert anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, it's all about you having a personal experience with God. You know what I'm saying? Like when you have an experience with God, regardless of what anybody says, you know what you've experienced. And for me, that is the reason why I do what I do. You know, I don't do it for whatever. You know what I'm saying? I do it because I want people to get in alignment, and I want people to do what they actually were born to do. Right. You know, my grandmother always taught me at a young age, like, you know, when I would get in trouble, my grandmother would send me to the corner. She would say, talk to God. If she wasn't beating me. But she would put me in the corner and she would be like, yo, go and talk to God. So that at a young age, I never understood it, honestly, until I got older. But she was teaching me how to listen. You know, she would always tell me if Jesus paid the price for all of your sins, or she would tell me directly, she would say, okay, if I was in the grocery store and I paid for your groceries, and if, you know, after I paid for them, what are you going to now do with the groceries? What are you going to do? Do you have to pay again or what? And I would say, no, I guess I go home and cook and I use it. And she would say, yeah, so Jesus already paid the price. Now it's your job to go out and use the gifts that God has given you and make this world better than how you found it. So I kind of live my life like based off of that, you know. For me, my whole life is about God. A lot of times people don't understand it because they see a bunch of different things. They'll see tarot, they'll see this, they'll see that. But in truth and in actuality, it's like I like tarot because I like the pictures. It's not something I've like studied. You know what I'm saying? It's more so, honestly, it helps my ADHD. And that came from just other situations where I was doing, you know, television or in the entertainment field, and they was like, you need a prop. You know, people are not going to believe that you're just able to do this or whatever. So they put me in a box, and I kind of, at one point in time, I accepted that box.
Got you.
You know.
But okay, getting into tarot cards, you have a gift outside of tarot cards, and you just channel your message using tarot cards for fun, we would say.
I'm not going to say for fun.
Okay.
It's more of a focus into it. Okay. So like, cause people kept saying like, so I do on Instagram, I'll do, you know, pick a card, Instagram and YouTube and stuff, I'll do pick a card. And so people was like, no, you just read out of a book. It's not possible for you to get all of this information for people or whatever. And in truth, I just pray and I ask God, like, okay, what do you want me to tell? Number one, number two, number three. Yeah. That's what I do, you know, and I used to, again, the pictures and stuff to guide me, but people was playing with me so much. I did it the previous week or a couple of weeks ago, I did it on, I use Uno cards and playing cards. Oh, yeah. Because I wanted to show people it's just paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times people give so much power to external things that they don't understand the power that's within them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what they're holding on to. They don't, like, we don't look in. We always looking out. So it's like even in the Bible, when it talks about, you know, God ascended, you know, Jesus had to go into hell and then he ascended, you know, on the third day. But when he ascended, he left us a comforter. He left us a voice, the Holy Spirit, our connection. So we all have a inner connection, inner divinity that we can really connect to be able to hear. Right. You know, so the thing is that God is always talking, but we're not always listening. Right. So sometimes we use different mediums to help us to connect when when we can't hear properly. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And you're really big on like intuition and finding your inner voice. So I'm gonna go back to pick a cards again, because pick a cards is like a thing right now. So what is your message to like those people that are watching pick a cards every day and maybe not even the same person? I mean, but just like.
I mean, when it comes to pick a card, you just have to know, like, there are some people that are doing it as a hobby, as for entertainment. Then there are some people that this is our calling. This is what we have to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like being that in between, but it's not necessarily being in between like Jesus. It's being that in between, but being that example to show you that God is real. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you enjoy it. I mean, but you know, you just gotta be very mindful of who you receive stuff from. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody is not tuned into the same source. You know, everybody doesn't have the same spirit. Just because you're spiritual doesn't mean you're gifted, and just because you're gifted does not mean you're spiritual.
That's true.
You know, there are a lot of gifted people that don't believe in God. They're just sensitive to the supernatural realm, or to the realm you can't see with your physical eyes. You know, but you have a lot of spiritual people that want to be whatever, but they're not. You know what I'm saying? But they have a deep connection with themselves and the process of life. Yeah. You know, when you think about spirituality, you think about that in the sense of, I'm learning, I want to understand what I was born to do. I want to understand the seed that's on the inside of me. You know, so that's what, and that's really what I do. You know what I'm saying? So through my work, my job is to water that thing that's already in you. Right. But sometimes it's to help you unlearn the stuff that you basically accepted from this life, from people who just just running around in this matrix.
Yeah, I think we're all doing that right now. In 2020 is doing a lot of unlearning on all levels.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get a little darker here.
All right, let's go.
Okay, the term witchcraft.
Oh, yeah.
But so now, what is witchcraft?
I mean, okay, so witchcraft, it depends on your culture. It depends on the culture. A lot of times when you have to, okay. So a lot of times when it comes
to... We'll take baby steps on this.
No. Okay. I was going to say, honestly, it's like, when you like really study our history and you understand just the African-American, or just black, just minority, just our connection to God, to nature, to just the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, our ancestors understood the importance of honoring your ancestors, not worshiping them. See, a lot of times people think when you do ancestral work, they think that you're worshiping these spirits, but you're not. You're saying thank you for being born. Thank you for being the door, the vessel for me to pass through to be here. So you're giving honor to your lineage, your mother's side, your father's side, and you're saying thank you for allowing me to be alive. You know what I'm saying? Because if they were not alive, you would not be here.
Right.
So really, ancestral work is strengthening that. And ancestral work is not about, I need to sacrifice something, I need to do this, I need to do that. It's about doing what you were called to do in this life.
Right, period.
Okay? So when people think about witchcraft in the sense of, witchcraft is nothing more than a manipulation of energy, moving energy from one place to another. What we know about energy is that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only manipulated. All right. But when you are trying to force your will on someone else, and now you're trying to manipulate their spirit, you're trying to manipulate their mind. That's what most people are looking at. But people don't understand that if you are a Christian or whatever you are, and you pray your will on someone else and they don't want it, you're performing witchcraft. You're manipulating energy or attempting to. Okay, so we look at it's not necessarily witchcraft, because witchcraft, I'm not trying to make anybody do anything that that's based off of my will.
Right.
So for me, we think about certain things as giving them medicine. I know quite a few witches.
So witches are real.
Yeah, they real.
Oh my God.
I know quite a few, and some are good. And
I was about to say, but are all bad?
Because it's not necessarily a good or bad thing. It's what is your intent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Water can be good or bad. Water can bring life, or water can kill you.
Right.
Fire can burn you or it can help you. So it's like you have to think about energy. Energy is not a thing of good or bad. Energy is a thing of, it just is what it is.
Yeah. All right. You just mentioned like how water works, how all that stuff, like it creates, it can destroy. And then since I walked in here, I've been looking at this like whole setup. I didn't know if you was trying to like romanticize me. Is that a word?
I just I gotta keep it cute for you.
Yeah, I felt it was a little romantic back here. I was like, I'm gonna ask him about this, the water. And then I saw this singing bowl. I've always seen you done brought out the damn Yes, I brought out the singing bowl.
Just trying to put all my business out there, y'all. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying?
So, during quarantine, I saw Lizzo and SZA doing she was playing the flute, and then SZA had the singing bowl, and I'm like, dang, I want to learn more. Tell me about this thing, the singing bowl, and like what it do.
All I can tell you is that it sounds good. Hold on.
Is that it?
Well, I mean, it's
like
based
an
off
instrument-ish?
So this one, it's actually 7 different bowls.
Okay.
So they have, you're part of the music industry and all that type of stuff. So each bowl has a different vibration, a different frequency. So this one is more so for your crown chakra. So it's more so for the balance out your crown chakra to help just with your own personal connection. So this is something I use during meditation.
You gonna make me go to the store after this and buy me 7 doggone bowls.
Yeah, so they have this, and I used to have a heart chakra. So for a heart chakra bowl, but it was more so for like whenever I felt blocked energetically, I would just go and play. So like this right here is my altar. So this is where
an altar.
Yeah, so I mean it's basically where I go to pray, to cleanse myself, and just to like to recenter, So normally up here it'll be the Bible, it'll be other things up here, flowers and stuff. And it's like it's my place of remembrance.
Yeah.
Of purpose, of truth, of just what I was born to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what it is.
Hey, I'm ready for you to play this thing.
Oh, man.
Okay. I didn't know, so it goes like high.
Yeah, but even with you like saying that lets me know like you need to meditate and be praying more. You know what I'm saying?
Because it bothered me?
Because it's more
well,
so
maybe if I play, I'll like it.
Okay, try it. Go ahead.
Maybe it was you. Maybe I ain't like what you was doing. Okay, I just...
Yeah, just hit it. On the outside.
Okay, I mean, I did like
outside.
The inside. Okay, cool.
Yeah. More so towards the top.
The fuck? Freak.
You know, that's just because that vibration low.
Hey,
you know
no, wait a minute.
It's getting better. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so if I didn't need to meditate, the sound wouldn't bother me. So what do you mean?
It'll make you aware of certain things. So like, some people, you can play the bowls and they'll have a issue. Say if you do the root chakra. So if you do the root chakra, which would be at a different key that I don't know. But
no do re mi.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, I don't know all that. It's a red bowl that I know is root connected to the root chakra. Okay, when you would play that, you start having issues or you start jumping, you start flinching, and normally you're stuck in survival mode. You know what I'm saying? Like you're stuck so energetically. So you have to always understand. For us, like we look at everything from an energetic and a spiritual place. So for us, we don't look at it like physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. We do spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical.
Okay.
So everything that is happening in the physical realm is the out picture. Is the basically like, dang, how can I explain it? Is everything that's going on externally is a result of what's happening internally.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So when we use these things, so different tools or different things that we use is it helps us to become more aware of the unseen.
So I felt it in my ears. Does that tell you anything? So
when it comes to that, that's your vulnerability, because that is technically your throat chakra. So you have energetic, your chakras are right here, right? You have your throat chakra, then you have 2 ear chakras, then you have your crown chakra, and then your third eye chakra, right?
Okay.
So it's more so like that would just tell me that you have to work towards being more vulnerable and listening to yourself more.
Oh man, okay, not talking more. You said something about the throat.
You gotta listen.
Okay, I'm like, I do enough talking. Y'all know that.
I mean, that's the thing.
I'll listen to myself, but I'm very important. So the reason why I don't listen to myself like as much, because I'm very impulsive. I want to do things like right now, I got an idea, let me jump on that. And then sometimes I'm like, okay, am I moving too fast? Yeah. But if I listen to myself, that means I'm supposed to be moving fast.
Not necessarily, because that's the process of you trying to figure stuff out. Listening to yourself is learning how to be at peace with yourself. You know what I'm saying? So when you get to the point that you find that peace on the inside, like a lot of us, especially in Western society, we have to find our peace in the eye of the storm. You know what I'm saying? So like really learning how to, like a spiritual, you ask, what is spirituality? Spirituality is learning how to sit and deal with your shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times if we're impulsive, that's because we're trying to figure out what to do because we're unsure of what actually works. You know what I'm saying? So we're in the process of figuring it out. That's really a sign of you being disconnected from your source, from yourself, from your true self. You know?
Gotcha.
So when you start really sitting with yourself and listening to yourself, you begin to honor the process of your life, but you honestly begin to trust the flow of it. So now I don't have to be impulsive because I just have to walk it.
Gotcha.
You know, and the universe and God will begin to bring everything into my life that I need.
So when you're impulsive, that's like a sign to like be more still.
No, it's a sign that you gotta really be honest to figure out what it is you actually want.
Okay.
For you, that is a sign of don't be afraid of your power.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we can do things to sometimes it can also be an act of sabotaging ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because we're afraid. You know what I'm saying? Like we know, but it's like, oh my God, I gotta do something. Nah, just be still. Chill.
Right. Okay. See, if I didn't bring out the singing bowl, I wouldn't have known all that. I told you I know. Some told me, I listened to myself.
Listen to your intuition.
And some told me to bring out the singing bowl. Okay. So now like spiritual work. I know we talked about witchcraft, but is spiritual work and witchcraft the same thing?
I mean, it depends on your culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, spiritual work for me is different versus like, I have a friend who's a voodoo priest. You know, so she practices Haitian voodoo. Okay. The spiritual work is totally different. It's, I'm about to get you a man. Ah! You know, so she does that type of work. I don't do that type of work. That's not me. My spiritual work is more so about helping individuals be better within themselves so they can be better in their life. You know what I'm saying? Right. My thing is about creating examples, you know, in the sense of like, my job is to be an example, to do my work so I can, you know, hopefully inspire somebody else to do theirs. Yeah. So when you talk about spiritual work, for me, spiritual work technically is you. You know what I'm saying? It's you like meditating, is you praying, is you going to school, is you writing, is you going to therapy, is anything that your spirit needs to do to realize itself.
Oh wow, like a lot of the inner work.
It's just like in the Bible when it says you can be, in the world but don't be of it. You know what I'm saying? So we physically have this physical anchor that's walking around in this world, but we don't have to do what the world tells us to do or just be something that we know we're not just because of the world and acceptance of it. We have to really begin the process of asking ourselves the certain questions like, who am I?
Right.
So I can really begin the process of unfolding my life and
Well, I feel like a lot of us are asking ourselves this question, especially in 2020, amongst like COVID-19, all the racial injustice, the Black Lives Matter movement. What are your thoughts on like what we're going through today? Like, do you see us coming out of this on top, or what do we need to do as a collective? I say is a better question.
Honestly, I feel like, I've done different meditations on this. I feel like it's going to be determined by us. Honestly, it's as crazy as it sounds, I think that some of this is like, a big blessing, because it gives us an opportunity to go back to the basics.
Yeah, that's true.
Families are at home, families are together, people are talking, technology, because technology, I think, has really split and messed up a lot of things. It's great, for convenience. Yeah. But, this whole time has given us opportunity to reset. Yeah. I know I come across so many different people that are now starting businesses that are, really opening themselves up to relationships and talking to their mates. I know a couple of people that were, about to be divorced, and now they've really been working on
they just needed that time together.
They just needed that time. This is also a great time for people just to figure out, who am I? What do I want?
Right.
What has been hurting me? Because a lot of people, we live our life in cycles. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of have a routine. I get up, I complain, I wash my face, I go to work, I come back, I drink, I go to sleep, and I can continue to do the same thing over and over. So really, honestly, for me, on a spiritual level, on a higher level, I look at it as a lot of people now are really realizing they're not living; they have just been existing. So this is like that time where people get to be like, "Yo, wow, okay, what is it what do I really want? Who am I? What have I been doing? Who is God? Right. So it just depends. So I don't really look at it as something bad. Of course, all the people that's dying and different people that are being affected by this, but it's an opportunity for us to regain control of our life. Yep. You know what I'm saying? But we have to really remember that, because it would look like we're losing control, but honestly, we're getting back connected to what's so natural to us, and that's us. Nobody can tell you besides you. You know what it is, but it's your choice to either listen to it or not. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Some people want to listen to the truth, and some people love to avoid it. Yeah.
So during this time too, a lot of what we call conspiracy theorists, which I think are just more like truth seekers. I don't know if that's a good name for them.
Some of them are just crazy as hell.
Are they? Okay. Because it seems like that whole group of people have become a little more popular, because they're like, we've been trying to tell y'all, but y'all wasn't listening.
Yeah, people want answers, and I do think there's a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes. I think there's two different governments. I think there's two different things that's happening, but the power is in us. You got one side of probably the government that wants us to stand up and do what we need to do, and then you have another side like, hell no, sit your ass down. But it's up to us. So I do think there's a lot of fear out in the world right now. But what people have to know, before you can really fix the world, you got to fix your own house. 100%. You know what I'm saying? You got to take care of yourself. So even within our culture, and of course, all lives matter, but Black lives, we matter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because, we the ones that get killed, and we don't get no justice. But I think that too, sometimes, even when we experience that injustice, it's a reminder to our race, to our culture, to appreciate it, to stand up, but also learn about it. Because unfortunately, people are so desensitized to stuff because we see it on television, we hear it in our music, so we don't think certain things matter until the oppressor does something to us. But we have to understand too that we have also been oppressing ourselves for a long period of time, but we also have to catch up. You know what I'm saying? We don't get the opportunities that some of these other, races get. Some people got a 400-year head start.
I'm telling you.
But we have to come together as a culture as well to be able to sit with each other and learn from each other. And even there are some people too of different cultures that we have to learn from as well.
Yes.
I think when we just try to do everything by ourselves sometimes, we have to learn to come together as humanity more so than anything. So for me, it's different because I'm a black male, so I have been through countless things, with the police and stuff. Like even staying where I stay, me being like here in a luxury type place, I experience certain things all the time.
Wow. Can you explain a little bit like what you've experienced?
Just like trying to get on the elevator.
For real?
People be like, stop. Can you wait till the next one? It'd be like,
no.
Yes. And I'm gonna tell you, my friend came and his girlfriend was there. And she's white, right?
Yeah.
And he's black and she's white. That was the first time a person of a different race rode the elevator with me from being here for 2 months.
So they'll really be like,
yes.
You get on the...
Yeah, can you wait for the next one? Yes. I mean, you go into certain stores here, you got going to Target down the street, you got security following you. You know what I'm saying? So it's certain things. I mean, but even to the point to the degree that if the police get behind me, I'm nervous. And I know I ain't did it.
Right, me too.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just, unfortunately, that's embedded in our consciousness because we have accepted that to a certain degree is our experience and it just is what it is.
Yeah.
So I think 2020 is the year of just stuff coming up.
It is coming up.
You know what I'm saying? So now we have to face reality and we have to really begin to change and shift. And I think, honestly, a lot of times, there's so many people that are waiting on a savior versus working with their communities and coming together and, we learn how to build together. You know what I'm saying? Because it's spiritually, I always see a lot of different things. I always experience a lot of different things, good and some not so good.
Right.
But what I do know is that at the end of the day, there's always a purpose. It's up to us to learn it, to honor it, and do what needs to be done so that we can make life better or continue the same cycles that we've been.
We don't want to continue the cycles. Yeah. I think we've learned our lesson here.
Yeah.
But you also you have products, you have services, but you also have products that I know that you're working on. Can you explain those a little bit and what they are?
I mean, I just make different soaps. So I'm real big on spiritual baths. I'm real big on cleansing yourself. So I'm real big on spiritual hygiene. I think spiritual hygiene is just as important as your physical hygiene. So I make different soaps and different spiritual baths and different things like that to just help us be spiritually cleansed. There are some people that are really into sage. There's some people that are into cleansing the house. Yes, sage.
When do you sage? When do you not? When do you and do you not sage? When to do it and when not to do it.
Shit, whenever you feel something is off.
I've heard maybe during the day you're not supposed to sage. Is that true?
No. No.
Is it true? No
misconception.
Misconception. So what about when I heard also when people when you sage you're supposed to leave the house?
No. But when you sage, you're supposed to smoke it out and then open the windows. So if you don't
I've never opened the windows.
Yeah, because you got to let the energy out. Because if you're not,
you're right,
the energy is just moving around. That's all you're doing. You just.
Oh, they probably love me. Look at her thing. She thinks she's doing something. We just moving around, girl.
Yeah, let me step into the other room. Let me just go into that room over there. But yeah, that's all you're doing. So sage it comes from Native American culture, but it's an act of when they actually do sage a lot of times they're actually calling forward the positive energies, the good energies, and they're sending out the negative energy, negative thought forms. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand that whenever you're doing any type of spiritual work, any type of ritual, it's all about your intent. But it's also it's also important to understand that you are the intent, but you also are the prayer. So you have to learn, how to become the thing that you're seeking. Okay? So that's why we do spiritual cleanses and stuff like that, because it's a reminder to ourselves that we're connected to something greater. When you cleanse your space, you're reminding yourself, I only want good in here. You know what I'm saying? I want to send out anything that's negative, but it allows you also to begin to work on your sensitivity, to begin to feel the things that you would not, have felt before. Yeah. You know, but it's important to cleanse when you move into a new space, business, house. Sometimes people need to cleanse their car.
Interesting.
Sometimes like it's important because it's just different types of energies that are around that smoke can catch and just release.
That's true. Well, my intent was good.
Yeah. Well, that's a start.
Start for like the last year, but okay.
Yeah, that's a start.
So I know people probably, you have readings and stuff. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I know you have like groups and things like that, mentorship groups. Can we talk a little bit about that and how people can join?
Oh, well, right now,
doors are closed.
Right now, I'm full to capacity. But as far as like, it's not, mentoring groups is not necessarily that. So I started a group about like, they call the Inner Circle probably about 4 years ago, somewhere around in there. It was a life coaching group. So it was my group for like just helping individuals, just really trying to build community, you know, but it was like, cause I was working with, you know, different people. So I was like, well, shoot, it'd be better if I could just bring them all together. Then I can talk to them, but then they also can talk to themselves and we all could just build. So it's really an accountability group. Over the years, it's transformed and grew into so much more. It's kind of like a life management group, you know. A lot of times people think, oh, I'm just helping people like, oh, I'm gonna turn them into a super psychic or turn them into a prophet. No, that's not what it's about. It's about really developing your communication and relationship with God. It's about really understanding and listening to yourself, how to listen to yourself. It's about really just going out there and getting the life that you want, but not just sitting and waiting. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of people that are waiting for God, but not even realizing that God is waiting for them. You know, so it's kind of like this thing of that group is really teaching people how to empower themselves, but also trust the process of their life and God. So that's what it is.
So talk to us too, how can they find you, your Instagram, your website, all that?
You can find me on Instagram, Jonathan the Medium. You also can find me on my website, www.jonathanlharris.com.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Wait, hold on. I want to... This will be a good way to close the interview, right?
All right, yes.
Okay.
Let's see if you're better
We
now.
say something before we do that?
No, I'm sorry, Tina. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Tina. Oh, Turner.
Yeah, okay. Tina. Duh. That's where I got that from.
Me too. Namyo Horenge Kyo, Namyo Horenge Kyo. I'm getting the hang of it. It's long. Was it this long before?
You're doing good. Oh, Lord.
Listen, I need different tones. I need to be like this.
Let me try. Let me see if I can do it.
No, please. You're gonna disrupt my crown chakra. Yours good.
Oh, look at you.
I'm no longer vulnerable. Thanks again. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes, thank y'all. Thank you.
Yes, as always, you can catch us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and all that at What's Your Side TV. Have a good day, y'all. Peace.
Oh, bye. See y'all.
Yes.